She was a victim. Then she became a curse. Aids Mary, one of Strickfield's darkest legends, spent years punishing men in the most horrific ways possible. But what if she had a chance to go back? If she could stop it all before the monster was born? Tonight, she gets that chance.
What's that? You want to be scared? Come with me. You will experience tales of horror, ghosts, and death. It is not recommended for the weak at heart. Listen in the dark. It's more fun that way. This is Weekly Spooky.
Hello, my spookies. It's Wednesday, and you know what that means. It's time for a little spooky in your weekly. I'm your host and narrator, Enrique Couto, and tonight we begin our 5-part summer miniseries called Deadly Second Chances, a kind of demented greatest hits compilation of Strickfield characters with murderous fates in common. You may have noticed we published a show yesterday, and it was a primer for today's show, getting you caught up on who exactly Aids Mary is. Every Tuesday this month, we'll have a little primer episode the day before to help you catch up on some of the lore built in Strickfield over the last 330-some episodes of Weekly Spooky. So make sure you're subscribed and ready for a thrilling ride through Strickfield, Ohio. Also, on Friday, we'll have a very special summertime compilation of some of the creepiest stories from the Weekly Spooky Vault involving summertime fun and fury. But now, I feel like I can't wait any longer. As for tonight, our tale comes from deep within the darkest corner of Strickfield, a town where shadows never sleep and the past never stays buried. We begin a brand new saga, 5 tales, 5 tormented souls, and 1 ancient goddess who's willing to set them all free for a price. Our first revenant is a woman consumed by pain, turned into a weapon of vengeance, and reborn with one purpose: to kill every man alive. But what if she got a chance to go back, to undo the moment everything changed? Would she take it, or is it already too late? We'll find out after this. Deadly Second Chances, Part 1, by Rob Fields. Perdition. Hellweaver sat at the edge of the fountain and stared into its waters to see events unfold throughout the universe. Even though she continued to feel anger over her imprisonment in Perdition, she found irony in the fountain itself. It was falling into the infinity core before me, along with the damaged reality sphere. That began my imprisonment in this infernal dimension. She commanded the image to display of the sapphiric speedster known as Blue Girl. You thwarted my plans of conquering the multiverse so many years ago and caused my imprisonment. She tightened her fists. I believe you understand that I shall not remain here for all eternity, and when I am free once more, you and I shall have a most serious discussion indeed. Hellweaver, though imprisoned, could still leave Perdition in the form of an astral projection to be able to speak with her disciples or to those who would summon her upon discovering one of her Bibles. Unfortunately, she couldn't remain outside Perdition for long periods of time. Though Hellweaver was a goddess with unlimited power, she herself was not above the laws governing her imprisonment. When she felt depleted, she would return to her body and rest to allow her energies to peak again. Hellweaver always brightened up upon seeing her daughter. Sin approached her mother with what appeared to be an ancient tome in her hands. Unlike her mother, Sin was not bound and imprisoned within Perdition and could come and go as she pleased. "Greetings, Mom," Sin said, placing the book next to the Infinity Core. "My baby," Hellweaver replied and embraced Sin. After their hug, Sin glared at her mother with excitement. "I have found it, Mom. This is the last volume written by Iamir Tabon himself. Within these very pages is the key to your release." Sin sat and opened the tome to the exact page. "It's called The Second Chance Compact. Read for yourself." Hellweaver eagerly yet patiently sat and read the pages explaining the Second Chance Compact. When she finished, she placed her hand on the side of Sin's face and caressed her. "From the time I accepted you and recreated you to be my natural daughter, you have done nothing but love and obey me. Today, you have indeed proven your love." Sin lowered herself to one knee, took her mother's hand, and cried, "I do love you, eternally and unconditionally. I would give my very life for you. You showed me how much you loved me, or you wouldn't have remade me to be your true daughter. Your will shall always be mine. I will see you free to conquer the multiverse." Hellweaver brushed Sin's tears away from one eye. "Indeed. Rise and experience your find with me." Sin obeyed and again sat beside Hellweaver at the Infinity Core. Then she explained the Second Chance Compact to Sin in simple terms. "I must be generous during this experience and offer up to 5 beings the opportunity to alter the course of their current existences for better. Should any of them succeed in doing so, then I cannot lay claim to their souls whatsoever. Only upon their failures may I reserve them. I may only claim the souls should 3 out of the 5 beings fail to change their lives for the better. Only then shall I be restored to where I may finally leave Perdition. What is more, I cannot interfere in any way. I may merely offer the beings the opportunity and place them wherever it is they wish to go back within their pasts, should they accept." Sin smiled sinisterly. "You have me to tip the balance in your favor." Hellweaver gave Sin a motherly smile. "No, my daughter. The compact specifically states against outside interference. I have tried to teach you that it is better to follow the rules. You may find that it benefits you more often than not." Sin became anxious. "Mother, why do you not just take for yourself? You are a goddess. You don't have to follow the rules. Not you." She pointed to the tome. Besides, if somehow you were to fail to gain your 3 souls, you can't use the second chance compact again. You only get 1 opportunity. Hellweaver put a comforting hand on the side of her daughter's face. You speak true of my power, Sin. However, my godly existence would become ridden with boredom if I were to just take what I wish. No, there must be rules. They are what make existence most interesting. I cannot stress the importance of following rules enough. Sin seemed disappointed. I understand your feelings, baby. I know that I have much to teach you. Listen to your mother and obey. Sin nodded once. We follow the rules. Confident they were both on the same page, Hellweaver trusted Sin. Let us take those souls from your former mortal world, shall we? Sin immediately became excited and took her mother's hands. Strickfield, Mom, I have never tasted so many corrupt souls as within that village. You shall easily find your 3 there.
Don't go away. Weekly Spooky will be right back.
Hellweaver squeezed her hands back. Time to play. Remember, there can be no interference whatsoever. Still, there's always the chance that I may lose. This is why you must continue with your current quest. I sense your distress, but you shall learn. You are merely a youngling, and I shall teach you everything I know so that you may understand. Sin nodded once. I shall listen and obey, always. Hellweaver let go of her hands and turned her attention to the Infinity Core. Soon the village of Strickfield, Ohio appeared. As they looked over the village, Hellweaver seemed pleased. Well, Sin, I shall offer up to 5 Strickfield inhabitants the opportunity to change their fates. She soon caught sight of one particular woman. I shall begin with her. Sin gasped, then smiled. I can see her fate for all the males of her world. Ever since she was violated and infected with the disease she carries, she gains her revenge by freely offering her body to any man foolhardy enough to accept it. Her disease has mutated into a new, horrible strain that kills the men whom she lays with within 5 mortal days. It is her life's purpose, even defying death and her own God, to eradicate every mortal man from earth. She will never die or relent otherwise. She is known as AIDS Mary. Hellweaver nodded once. Then I shall go to her first. Sin watched as Hellweaver glowed with power before her astral projection left her body and flew upward. Soon Hellweaver would make her first offer to a revenant. Strickfield, present day. Mary Ann Wright watched outside the first-floor window of a Strickfield University fraternity house as one of her latest male conquests was panicking after reading her parting gift to him. The mirror had a message written in lipstick. Welcome to the world of AIDS. The male student seemed so high and mighty upon picking Mary up at Shaker's and taking her back to his room. She willingly fulfilled his every sexual fantasy. After he fell asleep, she left his room and seduced other members of the fraternity. Mary walked away from the house and laughed at knowing she had killed 4 fraternity brothers in one night. Though they weren't dead just yet, they were well on their way. Tomorrow, they might still be feeling okay. Day 2, they would become sick. With each passing day, the sickness would grow worse. They would look like zombies in advanced stages of decay from The Walking Dead once her unique strain of AIDS finished with them. No later than the 5th day, they would be dead. And there was no cure or treatment. Mary walked through an open area. At times, she would feel fits of hatred. Hatred for being raped that night. Hatred at God for allowing men to always have their way with women. Mary fell to her knees, tightened her fists, and screamed upward to God. "I hate you!" Mary heaved, then looked up again. "I will kill every male you've created. All of them. I will never die until the last one does." Mary soon realized she wasn't alone and got back on her feet. She turned and saw Hellweaver standing before her. "Did God send you to punish me?" Mary spat. "Go ahead. I'll never regret killing his vile creations called men. I am not of this God that you speak of, Mary Ann Wright. But I am a goddess. Perhaps we may speak that I may offer you a second chance." AIDS Mary marched right up to Hellweaver. "Don't you fuck with me!" Hellweaver wasn't the slightest bit perturbed. "Not at all. I have the power to grant you the opportunity to change your life for the better. This does not have to be your life." Mary still heaved. "Yeah, like you can cure me. The second chance that I offer you is not for me to cure you, but for you to choose a point in your past where I shall place you. From there, you shall relive your life. You may ultimately choose a new path that will not lead you to your current one." Mary seemed amused. "What's the catch?" She shook her head quickly and pointed at Hellweaver. "There is no deal. You're in my way. I will not be stopped. All of God's men shall die." Mary attempted to fight Hellweaver, but the goddess seized her wrist and easily brought her to her knees. "You are foolish to challenge me, Revenant," Hellweaver said calmly. "Now, do you wish to accept my offer for a second chance on your life or not? Think about it. You would not have to live with this existence. You could be a normal woman, free to enjoy your life the way you long to do so again. You could be free of your disease forever." Mary was still angry, but she slowly subsided. "And what do you get if I fail? I'm not stupid. And do I get to take my current brain back with me?" "To answer your questions, I gain your soul, which I would only claim upon seizing 2 more out of the 5 beings I would offer a second chance too. You only get one opportunity. If you say no, then I shall leave you alone with yourself, and you would certainly retain your present knowledge upon being placed at the point in your history where you would choose. I accept, Mary stated without further hesitation.
You're not safe yet. Weekly Spooky will be right back.
Hellweaver eased Mary back to her feet. Then our bargain is sealed. Consider it carefully. What point in your past shall I place you? Again, Mary didn't hesitate. Put me on the exact day I was raped. From there, I'll leave Strickfield University. Then, AIDS Mary will never be born. Consider it done, Mary Ann Wright. But be warned, you may think that you have escaped your fate, only to find yourself returned to it. "5 years ago, Mary Ann Wright gasped upon finding herself brought back exactly where she had asked Hellweaver to place her. She felt a strange sensation on her hand and saw the blankets covering her. She also felt she was wearing an oversized t-shirt under those covers. Most of all, though, she felt her powerful rage was completely gone. She touched her breast area and felt her enhancements were no longer there. She truly was human again, and normal. Hellweaver really did it. I can leave here right now and live my life, Mary thought. I won't ever become AIDS Mary. She was so excited that she began planning the rest of her life. Then she remembered how special this day was when she realized someone's arms were gently wrapped around her. "Morning," Raymond Burr said softly in her ear. Suddenly Mary became scared. She quickly turned out of his arms and got out of bed. "What's wrong, Annie?" Raymond asked. She knew that every minute she remained at Strickfield University was a minute closer to becoming AIDS Mary again. She had her second chance and knew she had to escape, and fast. Mary faced Raymond. "Get dressed. You have to go." Raymond saw how scared she was and went to her. When he wrapped gentle arms around Mary, her long-dead feelings of love returned. She also remembered that he was her first victim on her dark path to becoming AIDS Mary. Suddenly, she remembered that she herself was not the first. Mary Richter was the original AIDS Mary, a high school girl who had been raped by Raymond's fraternity, Delta Omega Kappa. Mary Ann Wright herself would become something far worse. Suddenly, Mary sank to her knees and began sobbing uncontrollably. She didn't want to become that dark revenant who slept with men for the sake of vengeance. She wanted to live. Raymond lowered himself and held her. "Honey, what's wrong?" Mary held him tight and cried. As much as she wanted to escape Strickfield and never look back, she also had her humanity again. Even though she knew her dark path still existed, she just couldn't leave Mary Richter to the horrible fate that awaited her. "I must save Mary Richter. I can't let that poor girl get raped by Raymond's fraternity." Then she remembered everything regarding Raymond and collected herself before looking into his face. "Honey, what's wrong?" Raymond asked her again, gentler now. Raymond wouldn't be with the fraternity when the horrible event happened. He would be taking a makeup exam. Still, she had to try and talk to him. "I need your help," Mary said. "You can count on me," Raymond assured her. "Now, what's wrong?" Mary explained what would soon happen. Raymond's fraternity brothers would go out drinking tonight. They would find a drunk Mary Richter at Shaker's and assume she was another college girl. Richter's judgment was impaired when she allowed the boys to bring her back to the fraternity house. However, her judgment wouldn't be impaired enough for what the brothers had in mind. Richter would try fighting them, but ultimately, they would rape her. Mary further explained that she herself would leave the apartment they were currently in to come pick him up after he finished his exam. As she would pass the Delta Omega Kappa house, she would hear the commotion and investigate. When the brothers would discover her, she would flee to get help. She wasn't a very fast runner and would be caught. She would be brought back to the fraternity house where the brothers would rape both girls. "We'll both be given AIDS tonight," Mary finished. "Mary Richter would die shortly after you stopped her murder spree. As for me..." "You're serious?" Raymond asked, giving her a funny look. "You're talking about things that haven't happened yet." Mary took his hands in hers. "I'm deadly serious." She squeezed his hands. "Help me, Raymond. Help me stop this horrible thing from happening. I'm begging you. I'm putting my own life on the line just staying here, but I will stop this from happening."
Did you hear that? Better check the locks on your doors. Weekly Spooky will be right back.
Raymond still looked confused. "I don't get it, Annie. How can you know that?" Mary became upset and shot to her feet. "Annie, come on," Raymond said impatiently, getting up to face her. "Do you even hear what you're saying? You're acting like you can see the future." "Listen to me," Mary yelled. She explained how she knew of the events, having already experienced them in her past life. She also explained her pact with Hellweaver. "In my former life, I started off as a vengeful serial killer, Raymond," Mary emphasized. "Then I was killed myself, and I returned as a vengeful revenant. If I don't stop tonight from happening, Mary Richter will die. I myself will become AIDS Mary and be doomed to walk the planet until every last man is dead." "Oh, Jesus," Raymond scoffed. Mary put a finger in his face. "You become my first victim, Raymond. When I got AIDS, it mutated into a very, very deadly strain, one that kills you in just 5 days. You can't make this up." She backed away. "You don't want to help me? Fine. Just get out. I'm not wasting any more time with you. Go take your makeup test." Raymond groaned. "Come on, Annie. Don't put this wall between us." "Help me stop your brothers, then," she snapped. "Forget the exam and help me." He sighed. "I already postponed my exam once. If I miss the makeup again, that's a good chunk of my grade that could impact my scholarship. I have to take the exam." Mary was so upset, she took only a few long strides to open her door. "Get dressed. Go. Take your goddamn exam." She raised her finger. Once you leave, that's it. We're over. And I mean over. She pointed to him. It's your fellow frat boys that have been gang raping girls on campus, and that stops tonight. You're either with me or against me, Raymond Burr. Choose. Now. Raymond shook his head slowly. I can't miss that exam, Annie. I'm sorry. So am I, Mary replied. Get out. Raymond got dressed. Then he left her apartment. Mary slammed the door and locked it. She moved to a recliner and sat. She tightened her fists and took deep breaths to calm herself, knowing she was on her own. How do I find you, Mary Richter? She groaned. Where did those frat bastards find you? Then she remembered. She quickly got up and went to take a shower. She knew Shakers wouldn't open until 4 p.m. When she finished her shower, she had an idea. She called Strickfield High School and Strickfield Academy. Neither institution had Mary Richter as a student. Shit. Richter would just have to come in from out of town, Mary muttered. I'll be on the phone all day trying to find the right high school. No, I have to go to Shakers tonight. Later, Mary was on her way to the University Drive parking lot where her car was located. Just then, she was approached by another girl. Annie, what's going on? Delilah Warren, from the Alpha Delta Kappa sorority, asked. Going to Shakers, Mary answered. You look upset. What's wrong? Delilah probed. I don't want to talk about it, Mary muttered. Delilah looked down. Come on, Annie, you can talk to me. Raymond does. Mary remembered Delilah's organization was a sister sorority to Raymond's fraternity. Mary had hung out with Delilah in the past and never had problems with her. She sighed. Okay, listen to me very carefully. Mary explained the situation without revealing her deal with Hellweaver or how she was from the future. She did exaggerate that the brothers were exclusively targeting Mary Richter to get back at her older brother, who was a big shot with a rival fraternity. We have to stop them before they find Mary Richter. She doesn't need to be a part of this. Can you help me? Delilah sighed herself. It never fails. Those idiots can never keep their dicks in their pants. As always, we have to look out for our brothers and keep them out of trouble. Okay, Annie, let's go to Shakers. The girls got into Mary's car. From there, she drove them to Shakers. They soon pulled into the parking lot and into a spot. The girls got out and went inside. For a Wednesday night, Shakers was a little more packed than usual. Mary walked around looking desperately for the younger girl she wanted to save. At first, she couldn't find her. Then, as if at just the right moment, Mary Richter walked in the main entrance. She was dressed in very revealing clothing. She could have been mistaken for a prostitute. From there, she headed straight to the bar. As Mary moved to her, she saw the young girl giving her fake ID to the bartender. Clearly, it was good enough as he gave it back to her and asked for her drink order. Marianne Wright and Delilah sat on either side of her. Mary Richter smiled at having the company. Can I get you ladies anything? She asked giddily, then giggled. What brings you here? Mary asked casually. Richter rolled her eyes and slurred. My parents just had another huge fight at home. I swear it's the same shit. Then Mom lost her shit and slapped me before I left for school. Screw her. I didn't even go to school. Now I'm just gonna sit here and get really shit-faced. Maybe when I get back home I'll puke in Mom's face for hitting me. Mary realized she hadn't thought her plan through enough with Richter's slurs. She could smell both alcohol and weed on the girl and knew she had already gotten a head start. Then there was the flask she saw inside her purse. As Richter was about to give the bartender her order, Mary raised her finger. "We'll call you over when we're ready." The bartender nodded and left the three of them alone. Mary wasted no time. "You need to come with us right now. If you don't, you're going to die." She wished she hadn't worded it that way.
More scares to come. Weekly Spooky will be right back.
Die? What you talking about? Richter slurred and started raising her hand for the bartender. Mary stopped her when she had a new plan. "Let's go to my place. I got plenty of party favors for us to get wasted on. What do you say?" Richter hiccuped and belched loudly. "But we're already here. I want to get shit-faced right now." Mary's stomach dropped when she saw the Delta Omega Kappa brothers entering Shakers. She could waste no more time. "Come on, babe, we're going back to my place," Mary stated, grabbing Richter's arm. The smaller girl belched again. "Well, long as you got booze." When the three females were about to exit, they were suddenly blocked by the fraternity brothers. They all looked drunk themselves. "Hey, babes, you want to come back to our house at the university?" James Clark asked. "Yeah, we can really party it up," Marv Vernon added. "We got plenty of libations, including a couple kegs." "We're not interested," Mary quickly said. The brothers refused to step aside. When a manager appeared and told them to clear the way, the girls quickly escaped outside. It didn't take long for the brothers to pursue them. Then one of them grabbed Mary's arm. "We don't take no for no answer," a beefy guy named Carl Porter slurred. "No means no, asshole," Mary fired back. "Now get out of my face before—" "No, the hell with this. I think I'll call the police and report your fraternity for rape." "That's right. How many girls have you brought back to your frat house and assaulted, you bastards?" Even though they were all in some degree of drunkenness, the brothers understood Mary well enough to know that she knew about them. She was in fact just bluffing, but seeing their looks made her realize they really had gang-raped other girls prior, possibly in their fraternity house. Then she started to wonder if Raymond had known about the rapes himself all along. "Come on, babe," Mary said, continuing to guide Richter to her car. When they reached it, Delilah climbed in back. Mary put Richter in the passenger side and closed her door. When Mary was in the driver's seat, she pulled her own door closed. "You absolutely sure those guys gang-raped other girls?" Delilah inquired. "Didn't you see the looks on their faces?" Mary reminded her. "I'm reporting them when we're far enough away. Who knows how many girls they've violated, gave that disease to. Given the chance, they'd have done the same thing to Mary here. This stops here and now." As Mary was about to start the car, she felt a sudden prick on the back of her neck. "No, Annie, I don't think so," Delilah countered. Mary also saw Delilah inject Richter as she began to feel sleepy. "What are you doing?" Mary slurred. But she wouldn't hear Delilah's answer, as the shots rendered her and Mary Richter both unconscious shortly after. A few hours later, Mary yawned as she fought to open her eyes. Soon she sat up. As the drug Delilah injected her with finished wearing off, she recognized the all-too-familiar basement and knew this was the Delta Omega Kappa house. Suddenly, another light came on just beside her to reveal Delilah Warren, other Alpha Delta Kappa sorority girls, and a majority of the Delta Omega Kappa fraternity. "Glad you're awake, Annie," Delilah said in a sinister voice. "What the hell are you doing?" Mary demanded. Now Delilah and her sorority were smiling sinister smiles. "Weren't you listening earlier when I said our sorority looks out for our fraternity brothers? In fact, both our organizations look out for each other. A most beneficial coexistence, if I do say so." Mary Ann Wright shot to her feet and tightened her fists. Mary Richter was moaning as she woke up herself. Soon she was standing up. "Don't you understand anything?" Mary yelled at Delilah. Then she pointed to the brothers. "They are piece of shit rapists!" Delilah shrugged. "Yeah, and? How long will the world continue revolving? It's always going to be about domination. Why do you think our fraternities and sororities are strong across this country's universities? You say these guys are rapists." She folded her arms in front of her. "Can you prove it?" "I don't think so," another sorority girl sang. "Especially when you two are going to satisfy our boys," a third girl added. When Mary didn't see Raymond Burr among them, she knew now that he truly wasn't aware of what his fellow fraternity brothers were doing. They had kept Raymond in the dark since he first pledged and then joined the frat. Mary Wright suddenly saw a metal pipe and swiped it up with her hands. She swung and caught one of the girls to knock her down. Mary Richter also found a weapon and came to her savior's side. Mary Wright remembered from her past life that the high school girl wasn't that inebriated when they were both raped in her previous timeline. However, in spite of their will to fight, the numbers game proved too much for them. Delilah snuck up behind Mary Wright and cracked her on the back of the head with a board, making her drop her metal pipe to the ground. Soon, Mary was being held down by two of the fraternity brothers.
Don't go away. Weekly Spooky will be right back.
Mary felt despair when Richter was soon overpowered. She tried to fight and break free before one of the brothers punched her in the face. When Richter wouldn't go down, a nerdy-looking sorority girl approached her and grabbed her when she broke free again. "Ooh, ain't you a fighter? Here's something some of us made in Chem Lab just for you." The nerd purred as she injected Richter's neck with a syringe containing a chalky-colored liquid. She remembered this was likely the agent that was used to kill her before. After the nerdy girl let go of Richter, they all watched as the high school girl dropped to the floor and convulsed heavily. Soon Mary Richter stopped moving. Forever. "You monsters!" Mary yelled. "You're all monsters!" Delilah pointed to Mary as she told the fraternity brothers. Her boyfriend Raymond is one of you. If you don't keep Annie here quiet for good, she'll tell him. Who's to say he won't turn against you guys?" She raised a second syringe. "After you boys have your fun with Annie here, then I'll inject her. Then you will help your sorority sisters clean up your mess. Again." Another sister came up next to Delilah. "You guys gotta be more careful. The police have been looking around here too much lately. There's only gonna be so many more cover-ups we can do for you, especially when you guys get drunk and can't keep your dicks in your pants." Mary screamed and fought ferociously to break free. Though Mary Richter had been murdered by injection, she would still be spared from her horrible fate of getting raped and becoming the first AIDS Mary. Unfortunately for Mary Ann Wright, the same would not be said for her. Mary was beaten and raped repeatedly by the fraternity as the sorority girls watched. Mary cried at knowing she would possibly lose her soul to Hellweaver. Suddenly, she became increasingly angry. She had risked her second chance to try and save Mary Richter, only to learn that her choices hadn't really made much of a difference at all. She wanted to lash out and blame Hellweaver for stacking the deck against her. But she knew deep down that she had made her own choices. She also knew she had been infected with her disease again, as in her previous life. Men had once again robbed her of her life, and once again Mary renewed her vow to eradicate every last man that God had created from the face of the earth, even if it meant defying God and not allowing him to claim her in death. She would remain on earth for as long as it would take, but she would destroy every last man. Suddenly, Mary's rage caused her to snap. She screamed and felt her enhanced strength as she transformed back into her previous revenant self. Even her breast enhancements and dyed hair were restored. She stood up and glared at everybody in the basement as she smiled evilly. Hell just came calling, and AIDS Mary is here to collect. Two sorority girls screamed and tried to escape upstairs when Mary quickly moved underneath the stairway and ripped it away, making the girls fall. Mary wasted no time in beating them to a pulp. With her rage-fueled revenant strength, she went around the basement and made a very gory and disgusting spectacle that the Strickfield PD would be talking about for some time. Mary had slain nearly every single person in the house. All that was left was Delilah Warren. Just seeing the somewhat shiny skin on AIDS Mary, and how had Annie suddenly become sexy and endowed? So many questions were racing through Delilah's mind as she lashed out and injected her prey-turned-attacker with the deadly syringe. AIDS Mary groaned and fell to one knee. "Wow, you really got me." "That's right, you bitch," Delilah jeered. "I'll be the last one here. I'll tell the police that what happened down here was all you." "Ain't you forgetting one little detail?" Mary returned. Suddenly, Mary shot to her feet and snatched Delilah by the throat. Then she easily lifted her predator-turned-prey off her feet. "You will be on death's doorstep when the police find you," Mary finished. As she was ready to beat Delilah to a pulp, she suddenly stopped and smiled wickedly. "Oh, no, 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 no. I've got a much better idea for you." Mary slammed Delilah onto a table and rendered her unconscious with a sudden fist to the side of the head. Nothing could prepare Delilah for the horror that AIDS Mary planned for her.
Are you afraid? Good. Weekly Spooky will be right back.
Several minutes later, when Delilah came around, she found herself fully secured to the table. "Glad you came around," Mary said in her ear. "It's time." "What do you think you're doing?" Delilah demanded. "Me? Why, I'm going to have a little fun at your expense." Mary purred devilishly. "In case you haven't felt it yet, you're quite bottomless now." When Delilah saw that she was indeed naked from the waist down, she shrieked. "What are you doing? Stop!" Mary sneered. "I can't technically fuck you since I don't have the proper equipment." She raised a knife and cut 2 of her fingers. Then she made sure Delilah saw them bleeding. "But I can most certainly improvise for a bitch like you who's sympathetic to rapist pieces of shit." She dropped the knife. "And after the police find you, they'll find this." Mary moved and turned a full-length mirror to where her prisoner could see it. Delilah screamed when she read the lipstick. "Welcome to my world of AIDS." Mary smiled. "You're the only one left, Delilah. Now you belong to AIDS Mary, and since your legs are all nice and spread for me." Delilah screamed in utter horror, as she knew exactly what Mary intended to do. An hour later, Raymond Burr had finished his exam and was outside Mary's apartment door. When he saw it was ajar, he got worried and quickly went in. "Annie? Annie, where are you?" he called out. When the door suddenly slammed, he turned to see. "Annie?" To his surprise, his girlfriend looked much different. He was even surprised that Annie now had surgically enhanced breasts made evident by her cleavage. "No, not Annie. Never Annie. Never again." She grabbed Raymond and slammed him against a nearby wall with one hand. "Mary Ann Wright is dead, now and forever. I am AIDS Mary." She came into him and made sure he looked deep into her face as she told him everything that had happened. "You can go save Delilah Warren. Not that it'll do her any good. I believe I told you before that in a former life, you were my first victim when I became AIDS Mary. However, in light of the fact you knew nothing about what your fraternity brothers did, I'll spare your fate and let you live. For now. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have so many more men to kill." Raymond watched in horror as the love of his life left him. He wanted to chase her down, but remembered what she had said about Delilah Warren, and went to the fraternity house. As for AIDS Mary, it wouldn't take long for her legend to be known far and wide as she continued her sexual quest against men to destroy them with the evolved disease that she carried. Perdition. Hellweaver and Sin smiled at knowing one soul would be claimed. Hellweaver would only have to claim 2 more, and with 4 opportunities remaining. She could have escaped, Mom, Sin pointed out. She could have just left the university and lived her life. Why would the fool give up her second chance to save someone? All it did was return her to her fate. I did warn her about that, Hellweaver agreed. But being a former human mortal yourself, you must understand that there are some among your former kind that bear empathy. Upon becoming human once more, she regained her humanity. While I may successfully claim her soul, her early choices intrigued me. Yes, humanity may prove to be a formidable foe in my quest to obtain the other two souls that I require. As you know, I welcome challenges. Sin felt excitement. You can win the second chance compact, Mom. Then you shall be free once more. I can't wait for your next choice. From there, mother and daughter gazed into the Infinity Core again. Mary Ann Wright was given a second chance, but still couldn't escape the monster inside. But for Hellweaver, that's only one soul. Next week, she turns her attention to someone new. A girl with a venomous past, a dangerous obsession, and a deadly love triangle waiting to reignite. Fate's game isn't over yet, so join us next Wednesday for part 2 of Deadly Second Chances, right here on Weekly Spooky. Because some sins... I hope you enjoyed this first installment as much as I did. When it comes to the vastness of the Strickfield universe, AIDS Mary is certainly one of the characters that stands out as a truly tragic figure, and I enjoyed bringing her back yet again. And if you love the Strickfield universe we've been building here at Weekly Spooky, you can get 2 bonus shows every month by going to weeklyspooky.com/join and signing up for as little as $1 a month. You also get access to over 5 years of creepypasta readings, exclusive audiobooks, and so much more at weeklyspooky.com/join. And I want to say an extra special thank you to our Patreon podcast boosters, folks who pay just a little bit more to hear their names at the end of the show. And they are Johnny Nix, Kate and Lulu, Jessica Fuller, Jenny Green, Amber Hansford, Brent McCullough, Karen Ouimet, Jack Kerr, and Craig Cohen. Head to weeklyspooky.com/join and join up with over 90 other spookies and get 2 shows every month in the Strickfield universe. But now it's time for me to get back to work. We have so much more to bring you. I hope I'll see you here next Wednesday for part 2 of Deadly Second Chances. For my executive producers Rob Fields, Mark Shields, and Bobbletopia.com, my producer Dan Wilder, and my composer Ray Mattis, I will talk at you next time.
Thank you for listening. Make sure to find your way back next week. But for now, you are safe. Trust me.